The new season of Squid Game has not been released yet, and you wouldn't believe the details that the makers are trying to hide from the fans. Well, lucky for you all, I have a keen eye and sharp ears, so I know the details and I'm going to share them with you in this video. Like and subscribe right now if you're excited for Squid Game Season 4 USA. The first detail I want to start with is the city where we saw the American recruiter playing Tekashi with a homeless man in a back alley. That was Los Angeles, the city of angels where anything can happen. And that made me curious, of all the cities, why was the recruiter in Los Angeles at the time? And better still, does the recruiter really travel around the entire country to recruit players? Remember, South Korea is basically 1% of America in size. That means America is almost 100 times bigger than South Korea. So unlike the Korean recruiter, who could go around in the trains and recruit people all over the country by himself, that would be very difficult for an American recruiter. So I think about it, the recruiter has to be someone who basically doesn't exist officially, but traveling in America would mean using planes and she'd need passports. So how does that happen? Well, I'll tell you how that happens. She has an official passport that lets her go around, but she also has someone high up the ladder that makes sure she travels without a hitch. So yeah, she travels around the entire country to recruit people, which brings us back to the question, why exactly was she in Los Angeles at the same time as Inho coming to see Ga-young? Was it a coincidence or was there more to it? Well, I think there's more to it. I think that the organizers of the games in America knew that Inho had come into Los Angeles and they were keeping an eye on him. I know you're probably thinking that I'm taking my thoughts too far, but think about it. Of all the states that the American recruiter could be at the time of Inho coming into America, it had to be the state that Inho landed in. That's suspicious. And I don't know about you, but I don't believe in coincidence. If you doubt me, just wait till season 4 is released. I'm pretty sure that there will be a scene where Inho is met by the organizers of the game. Maybe he'll be cornered and led to where he would meet the frontman of the American games, or the organizers themselves. I think the recruiter was watching him and just decided to recruit a few people while she waited him out. In a recent interview, the actress who portrayed the American recruiter confessed that it was a last-minute thing. She got a call and was given very little information. Here's the thing. She had to learn how to play Tekashi last, as quickly as possible, and she was even asked to bring her own suit on set. That was how they were trying to keep things under wraps. That means one thing in my opinion. Netflix and Haewon Duk-hyuk, who is the creator of Squid Game franchise, are looking for a way to keep the IP alive. I mean, it's not every day that we get an original series or movie that an entire franchise could be made from. If you look at Hollywood, every major franchise right now started about over 20 years ago. Jurassic World, Game of Thrones, Star Wars, MCU, and so on. Squid Game is one of the more modern original productions that looks big enough to expand the franchise, and I think Netflix will want to exploit on it. Speaking of which, the director who is rumored to develop season 4 of the show is someone that Cate Blanchett has worked with in the past. David Fincher is rumored to develop the American Squid Game, and he directed The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, in which Cate Blanchett after said she'd love to work with David again because it's been ages, and believe me, I would give anything to see them work together again. Anyways, moving on, the next detail we'll be talking about is the frontman, Inho. Let's take a step back to the end of season 3 when Inho saw the American recruiter playing Tekashi with a homeless man in Los Angeles. In that scene, we saw Inho that lowered his car window and looked at the recruiter. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to smile at her or anything like that. I was just expecting him to be impressed at least. I mean, he's someone that wants to prove to the world that humans are terrible people. So I guess I expected him to have some sort of look or pride on his face because the games are going global, but it looked like he wasn't happy to see that. I mean, why? Why wasn't he impressed? It got me curious, and it made me realize that was a detail that basically tells us what Inho's story will be like in season 4. He isn't impressed with the games, as he used to be, and Gihun's actions had shown him that not all humans are heartless. Not all humans are selfish and vile. And I think he was starting to have hope for humanity because of Gihun, and he was also relieved that the games had ended. So seeing the American recruiter playing Dekachi with a homeless man just made him realize that the games were going on in America and he had no clue about it. He wasn't happy about that. And that will be his story in season 4. We know that Inho is a man of action, and when he wants something done, he doesn't mind going the distance to make sure it works. Remember how he strangled other players in the Mingle game because the player made it into a room where it reached more than 2 people. So I think he will carry on Gihun's legacy by trying to end the games anywhere and everywhere they're going on. Which brings me to link up that will make season 4 the greatest Squid Game season. I mean, forget about the Avengers or Justice League. We're going to get a link up of the most unlikely set of people in season 4, and you'd never expect that. First of all, Inho's presence in season 4 means that we'll find out more about the games that we have in the first 3 seasons. I always like to say that the biggest secrets in the world are common knowledge to some people, and that will be the case here. Things that we, the viewers, and players like Gihun saw as big secrets that we don't have access to are things that Inho just knows. And we will get to learn all that in season 4. As for the link up I was talking about, well, let me tell you about them. The first person will be Noel. Calm down. Don't get ahead of yourself by thinking how and why Inho and Noel will come together. Well, I've got an intriguing story for you that makes another well-hidden detail. What did you expect when Noel went to China to look for her child? Did you think she would just find her child and take her back to South Korea and they'd live happily ever after? Come on guys, life isn't that simple. And Squid Game World is definitely not that simple. Noelle will search for her daughter for quite some months before she's able to find her. Then that's where things will get tricky, because she didn't just find her daughter, but she also found her husband, who was alive as well. He left their daughter with someone, and there's a catch. Her husband isn't with her daughter, and she can't get her daughter without her husband, so she will have to find her husband who had gone to America in an attempt to play American Squid Game. The next person that will be pulled into this web of unlikely link-ups is Detective Jun-ho. With his obsession with finding his brother will also bring him to America, leaving baby 222 with his mother. Somehow Inho, Noel, and Jun-ho will come together and aim to bring the games down completely. And believe me, that will be so interesting to watch because everyone in that group will be weary of each other. So even while they work together, they will be cautious of each other. I feel like that will bring some good comedy into the game, into the season. But that's about it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is kind of a new video because I never spoke about the hidden details in season 4, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. And I'll put my recent video in the middle of the screen. I talked about Squid Game The Challenge Season 2, so if you want to check that out, you most definitely can. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out and take care everyone. Have a great day. Goodbye.